Volatility has been creeping up here very slowly over the last really kind of week or so heading into this announcement. Again, volatility is still very compressed here, but we're going to get a little bit of a push up today of volatility because of what's happening in the markets, which brings us to what you need to know before the bell this morning. Markets did set a new high on Friday. Getting a little bit overbought here. So again, this kind of news over the weekend, as we've talked about before, the thing that gets the market is something unexpected. This was unexpected, right? Now, is it a major thing? Probably not. This probably all gets resolved and goes away pretty quickly, and something, some negotiation comes out of this, and this all goes away. But that's going to lead to short-term volatility. Again, markets weren't expecting that. That's what kind of brings sellers into the markets, particularly when you're sitting at fairly high levels and a bit overbought. Again, deviation from the 50-day moving average is getting pretty large. So again, that's that kind of gravitational pull of price should not be unexpected. This is when we talk about managing risk, taking profits, rebalancing, those type of things. So when these things occur, they don't have a really big impact to your overall portfolio. But overall, the market's in a good position. A couple of things to be just kind of thinking about here over the next 2 weeks is because of earnings season, there is going to be a potential pickup in volatility, particularly in some of the areas of the markets that have been a little bit more stable lately. That's not uncommon. Again, we had kind of a weak start to the year in terms of the Santa Claus rally filling. The first 5 days were a little bit positive, but again, that typically suggests volatility in the last half of January and first part of February. So again, a little bit of pickup in volatility would not be a surprise here. So this is really kind of a good opportunity to kind of look at your portfolio and kind of just rebalance some risk and kind of move some positioning around just a bit to help hedge that volatility risk. Because again, if you take a look at volatility, it's been very, very suppressed, and we're actually starting to see a bit of a tick up. Volatility has been creeping up here very slowly over the last really kind of week or so heading into this announcement. Again, volatility is still very compressed here, but we're going to get a little bit of a push up today of volatility because of what's happening in the markets. But again, we're pretty low levels and we're on a buy signal, which suggests you could see a further rise in volatility over the next week or so. Doesn't mean that has to happen, so don't immediately go sell everything. This is just one of those things you just kind of pay attention to, because again, from very, very compressed levels, you can get one of these spikes in the market that occurs. And again, those are short-lived typically. Kind of just a reset of markets down to support levels, and again, kind of go back to the S&P. We've got immediate support levels sitting right here at the 20-day moving average. We're going to be pushing, kind of testing on that a little bit today. That's at 68.50, 6,800 is the 50-day moving average, and we've got the 100-day at 66.90. So there is some downside risk, 2-3%. And these tests of these supports are not uncommon. So again, when you have very low volatility tends to beget high volatility, and when you have these kind of deviations from means, that's where you're going to get that pickup. And all you need is some type of catalyst to help move that needle into the sell category, and that's kind of what we're seeing happen over the weekends. Now, if there's any follow-through from this, I don't really think so. I don't think this is the big mover for the markets. I think earnings are going to be much more important. So again, over the next couple of weeks, I think that's where your risk picks up here a bit. Anyway, that's what you need to know before the bell this morning.